So session 40, who would like to give a recap? Or session 41 now, who would like to give a recap of session 40?
We got out. We did it.
We left the manor.
You did eventually leave the manor.
Yeah. We pulled some cards. T-Hole hit me.
Yeah.
He crit me,
T-Hole.
in fact, but I
Right.
managed to cancel that part of it.
Yeah, so we spent we started the session in the food pantry near the library and the dining room, and thankfully all of Zarius's warriors dispatched the rest of the demons that happened to be lurking in a very convenient fashion. A good chunk of the then we decided to pull from the deck of many things and permanently seal our fate. So there was a bunch of things. I don't have all of so Aurelia drew first. She turned into an Aasimar. She drew 2 cards. The first turned her into an Aasimar. The second...
Specifically, though, it turned her into a sort of lion form Aasimar, of which, as far as anyone knows, Lucia Rossi was the only example prior to that.
Praise be to Asheros.
You're gonna meet Asheros soon.
And then the next card she pulled was a warning that indicated that she must use fire during the next fight or die. Then Zarius pulled 3 cards. So he earned some lands, and Ismailir.
Yep.
One card, a voice said, "There's hell to pay. Hell is coming for you soon." And nothing happened after that, no effect. And he pulled the Emperor card, and out of the ground raised the throne. Zarius was not worthy, and T-Hole, in his shock and disgust for Zarius attempting to sit on his throne, produced a staff, turned into a battle axe, and swung at Zarius and crit it.
Yeah.
And the card description actually did say, so there was a chance that you were just going to instantly behead him. It's one of the few things that could just kill you outright in my version of the deck. And it did say that upon a crit, there is no save. The character is dead.
See,
But Zarius has the ability through his deity to negate crits.
So,
I don't die that easy.
Literally the one thing that could save Zarius did.
Making me, the DM, believe that maybe Zarius' god is real.
Then Daggerface was next to pull a card. He became very he pulled 4 cards.
Yes. He pulled 4 cards.
The very first card, he became very sensitive to sound. And then the next card there was a bunch of echoing of sounds across the room, and his Holbein axe turned into 2 Holbein axes. The third card he pulled caused a small mote of light to appear in his chest. And he got hurt every time, and then he fell unconscious and paralyzed. He got unconscious and paralyzed. So Aurelia cured him, and then Zarius stabilized him. And then the last card that he pulled disintegrated both of his Holbein axes.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Proving once again that luck is not on Daggerface's side.
For a brief moment. For a brief moment, there was a holy shit. I got 2 axes.
Aren't they like also ancestral weapons of his?
Yes. Yes, they are.
So T-Hole pulled 3 cards, one of which gave the effect of a perfect pair of dice, summable up to 3 times for 12 people. Then the next indicated that at some time there will be a nemesis trying to pull T-Hole away from the manor, but because we were in the manor, it stopped it. So some sort of it filled with some sort of dread that as soon as they leave, he's just going to be transported somewhere and start fighting someone.
But you've been out of the manor for maybe an hour, climbing through the hallways. What remains of it? You haven't been pulled away yet?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
There's a giant bird trying to reach in and grab us.
So then I got a key, which is a hewn stone of Dex. So there's a large, there's a orbiting brass key above his head that gives him a Dex.
Well, the key you were handed transformed when you took hold of it into a small spherical red stone.
And
so that's what's in orbit around your head.
Gotcha. I thought it was a key. I kind of like the key idea.
I mean, if you want to keep it a key, that doesn't bother me. She did hand you a key, but it was it was something that was going to transform into something that was useful for you.
Yeah. And then Lucerosi pulled the throne card again. The second time it was pulled and it wasn't T-Hole. Lucerosi, when he got it, he was worthy. And T-Hole granted upon him the the rod of lordly might, and was said that he was worthy of serving the emperor.
It is also a silvered rod of lordly might, so to the extent something requires silver magical weapons, it would count.
Excellent.
I only wrote down one of your thing.
Oh, the other thing was that a pox was put upon me, which lowered my constitution by 1d4. Thankfully, I rolled a 1. So.
And then Crickneroble drew Temperance upside down, reversed, which makes him ravenously hungry all the time when he's not otherwise eating or indulging himself. It also requires him to have twice as much food and water as he would normally require to survive. And then he
Does
drew
a fire elemental need water?
Again, he is actually technically not an elemental per se, but a humanoid. He's descended from elementals.
I like to think that I need steam. Steam is what is like my water.
It
is harder to come by when you're trekking over land, though.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I mean, you just swallow some. You swallow some water. It boils up.
Yeah, I just gotta ignite it.
Okay,
have steam baths all the time.
I am perfectly fine with saying that, like, every time you drink water, steam just comes pouring out of your mouth as it begins to evaporate.
I thought you just have to chug Texas Pete.
And the other one he drew was the Wheel of Fortune upside down, which made him especially prone to the whims of fate, so that every day he's going to wind up being under either a bless or a bane effect.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the big ones.
Today is a bless, right?
Some days are good, some days suck.
Yeah, so today you are currently blessed, so you get to roll a 1d4 and add it to your saving throws and attack rolls.
The real question is, does he know? or do you roll behind the scenes?
I would say you know in advance what the effect is. You could just sort of feel the oppressiveness of the bane
Just feel
when
like
that
shit today.
happens.
Yeah.
So after that, we were contemplating. I think we were contemplating on. We were going to try to find the librarian as well, and then he left a note for us in the library, basically saying, "Hey fuckers,
Heard you talking about me.
you should close the door next time." And basically, he was hiding somewhere in the library.
Hiding somewhere.
Yeah, he was just hiding somewhere. He's aware that
Right,
Lucian
somewhere.
Mercy could have figured out where he was if he was just hiding in the library the whole time.
Yeah, so I meant he was hiding somewhere in the manor.
Right.
That's what I meant to say. So we decided not to chase him and just decided to leave. After some discussion about whether we go through the front gate or we go through the back roads in the astral plane, which wasn't a very popular idea. So when we left the manor, the castle that the door was in, the floating castle was on its side. And since it's an ancient fortress of great, that had very powerful spells, actually making it afloat. The fact that it fell down as on its side is very troubling indeed. We're not sure right now at how much time has actually passed since we've entered the manor. But we're guessing it's been at least a year.
Well, it would be either half a year or a year and a half because it was winter and now it's summer. Right?
I mean, it's warm, right?
Yeah, and there we did pass through. We did pass through and see like burned houses that look like they've been burned for a long time. So we're not sure if Montvert is.
I did a scry or something, right?
Right. And you
so
focused on the dining room of Dom Petronio's mansion,
Right.
which was fairly deep in the interior of the mansion, which is why you really didn't see anybody walking around. But that room just looked destroyed. The floors above it had collapsed in. It had all been burned out.
Yeah, because we hadn't actually left the castle just yet, I thought.
Yeah, that's why
Right.
we
You
were
were still
trying to climb
in
out,
the ruins of the palace at that point.
But if I was able to scry on Don Petronio's place, that means we know for sure that this castle wasn't like transported someplace else and like another plane or whatever. So that's nice.
Yeah, that tells us so much.
Yeah, I will
We
say
Some sort of
roll out a
reassurance.
whole bunch like that one.
I mean, what if, because it's hot, right? Maybe we weren't there for very long and this place was transported into fucking hell or something. But it's safe. Possibly safe. Almost the whole fucking city was transported, I guess. But
Kurt's doing his own descent into Avernus.
yeah.
Yeah. In parallel, we'll just have two Descent into Avernus games running. So yeah, then you, in part using the Rod of Lordly Might, climbed out of the room of what used to be called the Floatstone Palace, made your way back up the corridors to where you could see some sunlight, emerging into a room that was still largely intact, but that still did have cracks in the walls and open windows that showed sunlight outside. Almost immediately, though, you heard a screech from a giant bird, and a talon came and pierced through the stone wall, creating a gap through which you saw the giant eye of this bird that immediately began pecking at the hole, trying to get at you. And Aurelia has a sinking feeling that this is what Death was trying to warn her of, as the bird is particularly focused on her.
Well, one thing before all of that, we also saw the owl, Lokexicus's owl familiar, with a magic mouth effect, basically saying that they were being held prisoner with Cato, Agrippa, and some others.
That's some
Right.
star something.
Lokexicus,
Starlock Prison.
Yeah.
she said that she had tried to mount a rescue mission when you guys didn't come back, and was captured and taken to that prison, where she's being essentially held for ransom because they think you have the Wand of Eternity's doorstep that Bucknerd was looking for, and they expect you to trade it for her and the other members of the Colossi and the Deadpools and Cato Agrippa.
Real question: how would they even know that was in there?
You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Bucknerd left. Maybe when he left, it signaled somebody, or maybe he did it.
I mean, he knew that we didn't have it. Anyway, we're being attacked.
Yeah, we have a giant thing that we have to figure out what to deal with.
There's a time and a place,
now-
Lucius. Let's fight.
We don't have to deal with anything. We did kill it.
What?
So we don't have to deal with anything. We just have to kill it.
Yeah. I don't know how to even begin trying to attack something with a 200-foot wingspan.
You climb on its back.
Right. You climb on his back and you stab it till it stops moving. I mean,
You go Dragon Rider on its ass.
That's what Hrothgar would do.
all right, so we're in initiative now.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
Starting off with a solid initiative.
Hey, it kicked me out of my game.
Ah, crap.
It looks like there's it looks like the character sheets have something going on.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Even worse.
Well, it looks like they've done some kind of update.
Yeah.
It's clearly not going well.
Yeah. Like, I don't have the filigree around the charisma number.
Holy shit. I think this is the first time I ever rolled well in initiative.
Yeah.
That makes one of us.
The new updates helped you.
I'm trying to figure out how T-Hole rolled a natural 1 and got a 9 initiative.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. +8 intelligence?
Yeah.
That's that's initiative.
Oh,
not
it's
intel.
initiative, yeah.
That's what. Oh, and okay. You have a +8?
No.
He's the emperor. That's what happens.
Empress rules. I go first.
I actually don't know how that happened.
Wait, yeah, I rolled a 16, and now I have a 2, or a +2 somewhere. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I don't know. Mine's accurate, I think.
1 + 0 times 0 divided by 0 + 8.
All right, let's look in the guts of this thing. Let's see where it says initiative.
Dagger faces rolled fine.
Okay, I should have a +1. That's right, because of my luck stone. Shouldn't have a +2.
What about like a regular roll? Let's see what happens. That went fine. What about like a save? Save's fine. Just the initiative. Okay.
Well, I mean, I've got like my initiative bonus is 2, so technically it should be a 3
Well,
for whatever reason. Even with the Yoon stone.
so in any event, maybe keep an eye on what's going on with the rules, but we can work with these initiatives. They're not wildly off.
I'll only pay
Oh, wait.
attention if it's a critical fail.
Oh wait, yeah, I shouldn't have a +2. I should have a 0 because I have a -1 to my dex and
Yeah.
a +1 for the stone.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was just looking at mine. I rolled a 2, so I should have a 1.
Yeah. I should have a 3. Unless it added bless to my thing. I don't know. Because you guys have got the exact same roll, so I don't know.
Well, time to use the old-fashioned die.
Rolled fine for the rock and for Daggerface. Maybe it's a piece the only problem.
Maybe.
So it is Luciarosi's turn. You get to go first. You see the edge of a beak poking through.
Okay.
Although the edge of the beak is kind of like half across this pit you've just crawled out of. So it is a sheer drop in this blackened area here. You could still probably balance like here right on the edge and attack it.
Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure that it rolled well for my attack. So seeing this thing and getting a sense of just how large it is, Lush Rossi would recommend that we run and kind of hold my action to see how others react.
Run where?
So the rock for its turn is actually just going to tear a bigger hole in the stones to try to get at you.
Yep, I can smell what it's cooking.
Yeah, and and with Zarius being like, run where, I would be like, away. We can't fight something like this.
We cannot outrun it.
And then it moves up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Zarius' turn.
okay, give me a second. I'm attempting to do something here. But roll 20 is being real weird.
Aurelia, have you said anything about you thinking that it's coming for you?
I just would have said that we need to kill it.
Well, all right.
Lucia Rossi would have been like, how? How do we kill something like this?
All right. Well, if it's going to be like right on top of us like that, do I think I could back up without it like pecking at me?
It probably would get an attack of opportunity.
But it's probably got some crazy reach, so I could take like a step.
Yeah, you could definitely move a step.
All right. I'll just do that, and then.
In fact, you could move another step back, and it would still be in range of hitting you because it just got to like extend its neck.
Right. All right. So I'm gonna take a couple steps here, and then I'm gonna hit it with a ray of enfeeblement.
What kind of save is that?
Actually, looks like it's an attack roll.
Oh.
Range spell attack. When I hit the target, deals only half damage with attacks that use strength.
Okay.
And at the end of its turn, it can make con saves to end it. So I'm gonna make an attack roll here.
Or Misty Step away.
That was
Oh,
me.
that's T-Hole.
My bad.
Here, I'll just hit another spell here that actually has an attack roll on it. So we have a roll.
Yep.
Hey, all right, that's pretty good.
Yep, you definitely hit it.
All right, cool.
So the black beam flies out, strikes the creature in its head, and you see it almost slumps a bit under its own weight, but then it recovers its footing. Are you doing anything else?
I don't really have any bonus actions, so that'll be it.
T-Hole.
I'm going to so T-Hole he opens his hands and a large orb of frost starts forming, and he's going to blast the rock with a cone of cold.
What save is that?
It's a con save. And I'm going to use one of my portent rolls.
Okay.
I have a 1 and a 5, so I'm going to choose the 1.
Okay, it definitely fails then, so it takes full damage.
So it's 8d8.
I like how Kurt was like, okay, it definitely fails with the 1, as if it might not fail with the 5.
It's very big.
It's a very big creature, yeah.
So Kurt, I don't know if you're intending to, but in the main video, we're seeing all the your behind the screen stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been trying not to look.
Yeah, I've been looking at the other screen.
So I probably then just shared the wrong screen since they look very similar. There, that one should be better.
That's it, yeah.
So Daggerface is going to charge forward because why not?
That's why I love Daggerface.
He no longer has his axe. So
He's just punching.
So he does have a hammer that he just doesn't use that often. And he misses, but he hits with the second one. And it's Crick's turn.
So Crick looks at Aurelia. Is Aurelia like scared of this thing? Like, nah, all over it.
Oh, that's
Nah,
right.
okay.
I'm backed
Cool.
by Asheros now.
Yeah,
this guy.
staring deaf in the face. Good stuff.
Got
Alright,
Lucius
so
who's going to
anyways.
be charging in for the attack any second now.
After yelling, "Run!"
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so this is one of those moments where I know that D&D is weird because it's like there's an enemy, fight it. But as a player, I'm trying to be like, how do you fight something this ginormous?
Right, I would say you would all realize that this thing was just blasted by a cone of cold and smacked in the head with a hammer. Not that much damage.
Yeah. So
That's also
Lucius is going to reiterate, we need to run.
It's an enormous bird. We cannot outrun it.
Okay, but this is a stone complex. I'm sure we can at least slow it down while we try to figure something out. There might be an underground tunnel.
We just came from it.
Right, it's hovering over it right now.
All right. So
There may be another one.
So am I able to take a step back without getting hit
Yes.
by the attack? Yeah, cool. All right. So I'll just walk just out of melee range at least, and
It's not. It could.
yeah,
reach
I know it
its,
can still get me. Yeah, it
right.
could still like be. Beep. And then I'm gonna use my mantle of flame, and then drop a wall of fire at it around its neck area. I guess hovering over like the hole, like where the stone was.
Okay.
And I'll cast it for
How big is the wall of fire normally?
10
double
10
check.
feet.
It's up. It's so you can make the wall up to 60 feet long, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick.
So let Crick make a wall of fire, and that will let us escape, at least for a little bit.
So I'll make the wall. So yeah, just along there.
Building the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I think that when a bird says, "Oh no, a wall," it just
He's poking his head through a hole in the wall. He won't be able to just go above it. There is a ceiling above us, which also we saw it peel through the wall like tissue paper. We should probably get out of this room before the ceiling collapses on top of us.
For once, I think Luciosi has a good idea.
I wouldn't mind eating this bird though.
I'm no coward, but I also know when things are lost.
It'll be my first fleshy meal.
I do think we should at least try to attempt to see if we can get somewhere else in the castle. It's going to be difficult, but better than dying.
So this wall of fire erupts around the bird, and you see the feathers around its neck immediately catch on fire, and it screams and rears up, trying to get over the top of this thing, banging its head through the ceiling in the process. So it's now sort of hovering higher up over you than it was. Anybody who wants to move while it's trying to avoid the wall, it's not going to be able to take its attack of opportunity. But you can see it is still physically on fire and burning as it screams. And it's Aurelia's turn.
Okay, so last session we had some scrolls. One was Fireball. Did anybody take that? Because I mentioned something about taking it.
Oh yeah, I don't need it.
Does this make sense, or am I making stuff up?
There was Fireball on a scroll at one point. I don't know who wound up with it.
Not me, because I already had Fireball.
Sure,
But it's just
taking it.
it's. I mean, I think the only person who can cast Fireball is T-Hole, and it's a scroll, so you could still use it to cast a spell. You just wouldn't use a spell slot.
Okay.
Unless Aurelia took Fireball as her bardic secret thing.
No. Because when the dude told me something about fire, that's why I asked for the scroll.
Yeah.
But
So T-Hole probably would have it as the only one who can use it.
okay. And I say, we have to stand and fight this thing. That's what it's in the cards. Use fire against it.
Aurelia, you're mad. You are a child. There's nothing that you or I can do against this thing. It could pick us up and drop us from any height.
Asheros would be disappointed. I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast. Fuck this guy.
What's a bard doing with Eldritch Blast?
Secrets.
So that hits. What's the damage? Actually, do you roll individually for each ray? I believe you do.
Okay, I guess that's the hit.
Yeah.
So how is it 2 rays then? So I roll again.
I think it's 3 rays at this point, or is it 3 rays at 11th level?
I think it's 3.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second one misses.
Crapola. So the damage did not come out? Fuck.
No, it's probably just not set up to do it. Just roll a d10.
6 plus.
Nothing unless you have the agonizing blast invocation.
Okay. All right. So it's not. Okay.
So, Lucia Rosie, it's your turn. The bird is on fire and screaming, but it is still menacing above you.
So I was curious because I didn't take a turn last time because I was holding my action to see what other people were doing. Would that make me last in the round, and then I would now just go after Aurelia?
Sure, we could do that. You
Um,
see, people are not running.
yeah, which really, really upsets Lucia Rossi because he knows this is not a fight that we can win in his bones, but at the same time, he can't like abandon everybody. So he is going to okay, so he's gonna try first. Now, question: if I cast a spell and I'm concentrating on the spell, and then go into a rage, can I maintain the concentration, or does that end the spell?
That's a good question.
I think
don't know what the
raging
answer-
specifies you can't concentrate on a spell, doesn't it?
I know it says you can't cast a spell.
That's for
Yeah,
sure.
let me see.
Yeah.
I have the whole rage thing in here. I'll just open it up and we'll see. I'll just...
Let's see here.
Oh, you can't
You
concentrate
can't cast
on
them or
either.
concentrate on them. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, because it may not even matter necessarily, but I am going to use my oath spell because I am technically an oath breaker, and cast fear on the thing. So so spell DC is 15. Okay.
Oh,
So seeing it, so Lucia Rossi, the way that it looks is his hair kind of darkens from the normal sort of iridescent white multicolored hair into a matte black, and he kind of, there's like a wind that comes off of him at the creature, and it just seems like it shakes it off. So then he sighs, and he enters rage, and then I'm going to use an action point to take another action. So now that I'm raging, Lucia Rossi will also, he'll use his last action point to also enter into his Radiant Soul ability to get some fly speed in him.
Okay.
And then keeping up the pattern with Lucia Rossi using all of his action points in the first round. He will fly up and attempt to grapple the rock's head, specifically around its eyes.
Okay.
So it's sort of like the rules for climbing a larger creature, I think.
isn't there like the humongous strength rule where like because you're 2 sizes below it gets like a plus 10 or 15 or something ridiculous?
I thought it was like it just can't be grappled by a creature too small because
Right.
Well, it can't.
Fuck
It
is it
can't
gonna
be. It can't be grappled. It can't be grappled. But okay, so here's what I imagine him doing. I imagine him using his flight to grow up, and then basically latching on to the thing near its closest eye. So using one hand to do that, and his other hand to bring the rod of lordly might, turn it into an axe, and then chop into its eyeball. So I don't know if that would even, at this point, require an athletics check, because, I mean, I'm flying anyways.
Right. You could definitely fly up and try to swat it. It might. I would say this: if you were grappled onto it, if it tries to fly away, you can keep up with it. But it does have a pretty vast fly speed.
Right.
But you could
But
certainly
I
take
could I could always let go too.
right. You could also let go.
So yeah. So I'll just use one of my. I won't pick up. I won't unsheath Regia's sword. I'll just keep the Lord of Rodley Might in hand, since it's already in my hand. Fly up, grab onto the thing around its head. So I don't know if you want me to do an athletics check just to make that first grab.
If you're trying to keep a hold of it, then yeah, you should. But otherwise, if you're just if it's just flavor, then it doesn't matter.
I think for now I would want to, because if it moves away, I do want to remain attached to it.
Okay. So make an athletics check then. And it will try to avoid being grabbed on its singed feathers.
So from what I'm seeing with the rules of climbing onto a bigger creature, it would actually be using its acrobatics check.
Okay. I don't know those rules by heart. Where are those rules? Are they in Xenophobe?
They're in the Dungeon Master's Guide, but I'm using my Dungeon Master cheat sheet, so I'll just copy and paste them into the chat.
Okay. But I'm fine with it using acrobatics to try to avoid being grabbed.
Didn't capture all of it. Larger creature's ability. I don't know where it went. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna do my athletics check. It'll with advantage since I'm raging.
So you have grabbed onto it.
Okay. And then, so since that grapple is part of an attack action, I have another attack. So I'll make an attack with my Rod of Lordly Might then.
That hits.
And then, wait a minute. It didn't roll my main damage. It just added the radiant stuff. Okay, whatever. So the main damage is a D.
The slashing there?
Is that just the slashing part there? Yeah.
No, it's just showing the
I see
the rage and
slashing.
the radiant damage from my radiant soul ability.
It's also showing 11 slashing.
Oh, below it. Okay. And then with that, because I know that this creature is ridiculous, I'm gonna use a 3rd level spell slot to smite. And I don't know if it's an additional penalty or whatever, but I am trying to attack it directly into its eye.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. It makes sense that you would do that, but I'm not doing called shots.
Okay.
So it is, you've grabbed a hold of some of the feathers that aren't on fire and are holding on for dear life as you hack at it with this silver axe in your hand. And it is flailing around. You're not sure even if it's going to try to shake you off or continue to try to put the fire out or what. But as you do that, you see it begins to lift up into the air with you attached to it. And it is going to make a claw attack against Aurelia.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted us to run, and that's why Lucharosi is trying to hit it in the eyes to give us a chance to run.
Maybe you should hit harder.
So as a reaction, can I do Hellish Rebuke?
You can.
Okay. Because fuck this guy.
I think it has to make a dex save.
Yep.
Also, if it's moving inside the wall of fire during its turn, does it?
Yeah, it actually took off into the air and flew over the wall of fire and then sort of reached down.
Okay.
And has
Yeah.
now
Okay, I get it.
grabbed Aurelia and begins to fly off. So everyone can take attacks of opportunity except for Aurelia and Lucharosi.
Do I have more caster?
So I am grappled at this point.
I do.
Yes.
Nice.
T-Hole feebly goes up and tries to like.
By the way, that slashing damage is halved because of the Ray of Enfeeblement.
That's right. I forgot about that. So instead of 28 slashing damage, you took 14.
Okay.
Awesome.
I guess I can swing my staff at him.
So.
Where am I?
So, I've got Warcaster. Can I do anything with this wall of fire to hit it?
I mean, I don't think you can change the shape of the wall of fire once you create it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
And
like
that's also not really targeting one creature kind of spell.
Yeah.
Scorching Ray or something.
Yeah. Can I cast 2 spells? So I'm still concentrating on this one.
You can cast a non-concentration spell, which most single target spells tend to be.
Oh, okay. I'll just
You could also cast a concentration spell. It just would drop the wall of fire.
Right.
Yeah, lose it. I'll just fire a firebolt at its. Oh shit! I double clicked it. Sorry.
Well, both
My mouse
hits.
is a little fucking shitty. Yeah, but one did 3 damage. Oh no! It did. Yep, 17. Oh good.
Did my 18 hit?
Yes, your 18 hit.
Yeah, nice.
So Zarius is able to smack it. T-Hole barely raises his staff. T-Hole's staff wiggles a little bit.
The important thing is that I thought about it.
Oh
yeah.
I'm imagining a Wonka situation. No, don't stop.
And then Crick's firebolt hits it and lights up much of the tail. In fact, I have to move the creature so that I can inflict all this extra fire damage. But then it essentially, it takes off flying away with Lucharosi and with Aurelia. And it is a blip on the screen as it flies about 120 feet away.
Run!
See, this is exactly what I said would happen. It would grab somebody and fly as high as it wanted, and then just drop them.
So-
Did it go straight
And
up
no,
or fly
did
away?
anybody want to listen to me? Did anybody want to listen? No. And now look at where I am.
Well, we
I'm
can't
on
hear
top
you
of its
anyways
head.
because you're way over
Right.
there.
Right. No, it flew pretty close to the level of this rock that you're on. So it's not that high in the air, but it's about 120 feet away from you now, and it's
Okay.
your turn.
Well, I had thought of doing Sanctuary on Aurelia. I was going to do that this turn.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. We could have done it. Okay, well, I'm not really sure there's much I could do.
Sounds like we should run.
What's the range on this? 60 feet.
Actually,
I'm a cleric. None of my spells go 120 feet. I got a couple spells that do. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's the feeblement's gone. Jesus, what's this thing? 30 feet, son of a bitch. All right, well, even my sacred flame is only. Okay. Well, I'll give you one last shot up there, Lucirosi, or one of you, I guess. I'm gonna do a guiding bolt.
that hits.
I do a whopping 9 damage, but the next attack, you got advantage.
T-Hole, it's your turn.
Let's see. What so in terms of like potential escape routes, what rooms can we see from here? Like, what are our options?
You know that there is this pit that's right in front of you that you came up out of. In terms of what else is here on the surface, this used to be kind of like the side of that pillar of rock that the palace sat on. So there were a couple sort of defensive structures that used to be hanging off the side, but you're not sure to what extent any of them are still intact. You can basically see, what your character can see now, which is mostly this room is intact. But you figure there might be another room somewhere, a similar sort of observation post that used to be here.
I'll say to Zarius, if we can get a minute, if you will, if we can get a minute's rest, I can get us out of here. We picked up a teleportation spell or scroll before we left the manor.
It might be best to watch where the rock goes.
So I'm going to, for lack of a better thing, I'm gonna. Do I see the rock like from where I'm at? Can I like look out the side and see it flying up in the air?
Again, you actually can see it because after it got burned and it reared up, it knocked out a good portion of the ceiling, but it's not flying very high at the moment. At least
That's
not
right.
relative to the surface that you're on.
So it's 120 feet away, right?
Yep.
So That being the case, I'm just gonna try to shoot it with a firebolt.
Okay.
That's a crit.
Nice. If a 15 hits.
Well, no, it's a crit because you have advantage.
Because of the
My guiding bolt.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that does
Nice. 36.
36 fire damage.
Damn.
Okay, so you see the tail, which was on fire from the previous firebolt, erupts into an even greater conflagration. To this point, it almost looks like it is just flying away, a fireball flying in the sky in the distance. Daggerface can't really do anything. So he will, I guess, run out and start running towards it.
Dagger face!
Actually, he does not yell. He is still disoriented by even the sound of this battle driving him crazy. So he is not in a position to scream unless he wants to stop and vomit. Crick, what are you doing?
So I guess I'll put the wall of fire away. So I sort of like, the wall of fire is gone, and the fire continues to swirl around me with the mantle of flame. Otherwise, T-Hole had a good idea. Maybe I'll sit here and prepare an spell for when the rock comes back into range, if it does.
Okay,
So
what are you
that's me.
preparing?
I'm going to prepare immolation.
Okay. Aurelia, you are grappled and in its claws. What are you doing?
Okay, so I can still cast spells, right? Because that doesn't negate. Grapple
Right.
doesn't stop that. Okay. So as a bonus action, time to use some of my cool Azamar shit. I'm going to use my Necrotic Shroud. So these little spectral wings start to grow, and my
Right.
face turns black like a puma.
Praise be to Ashros and his necrotic shroud.
Damn right. So I
Astros
guess
works in mysterious ways.
I guess he has to make a save or be frightened.
What's the save?
17
What kind of save? I mean,
charisma.
Oh my gosh.
All right. And let's see. How far above the ground am I?
about 20 feet.
Okay. And I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers and say, I have you right where I want you.
Is that a wisdom save?
Shit. Hold on. This will probably go horribly wrong.
Does Dissonant Whispers make him drop what he's holding?
He might, yeah. But he's going to come after me. Hold on. All right. Let me do this. Damn it. Yeah, wisdom save.
All right.
And it says on this that so he takes half of that, so 10 damage, but it also says that you can deal bonus necrotic damage to one target.
On
Yeah,
Dissonant
whenever you
Whispers?
deal damage.
Necrotic Shrouds.
Yeah. But it doesn't, I don't, so how
It's equal to your class level.
So it'll be extra 10 damage?
Yeah.
Okay, so he takes 10 necrotic with that.
Okay.
But he passed, so he's not He's not frightened or wants to get away from me. So that's good.
Okay. So start of the round again. Lucia Rosie, you see the flames aren't that were started by the wall of fire and around its tail aren't going out. If anything, they're just sort of spreading. So it's not quite upon you yet, but it's getting closer to you. Next round, you probably will be in a region that's on fire.
Okay. So how far is the Talon holding Aurelia from me?
It's about 30 feet away from you.
Okay.
You're technically about here.
And is the rock turning around?
The rock is beginning to turn around. It was actually just easier for me to keep you guys on the screen, but than to move you off the map.
Okay, so is that just for purposes of ease, or is it actually coming back to the group?
It's really just for purposes of ease. He's actually way further off the edge of the map already.
Okay. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I think right now Lucia Rosie is, because he gets a sense that even if he were to go and grab Aurelia, this thing would be able to just come get us again. So he's going to take 2 attacks with the Rod of Lordly Might. So first attack.
Flame tongue that bitch.
Hits.
And then going to be using a 2nd level smite on that. And then also, this is probably not going to work, and I know that. But I'm going to use the Paralyze ability. When I hit a creature with a melee attack using the rod, I can force the target to make a DC 17 strength saving throw. And a failure, the target is paralyzed for a minute.
It's paralyzed.
No shit! Asteros is smiling upon Lucia Rosie.
Hopefully his wings are like out so you glide down.
Yeah, that is not exactly what is about to happen.
Okay, so that is awesome because that was one attack. That was only one attack. So I still have my movement. So I'm going to fly over to Aurelia. And then I'm going to, can I use an athletics check to try and pull her out?
Sure. I mean, all of this is happening, like he is already plummeting when you paralyze him, so he is seizing up. And he is not only falling like straight down, he is flying ahead with great speed towards like stone walls.
Right.
So, but I will say you can try to pry her out.
Yeah. No, I realize all of this. I know that this is probably going to result in both of our deaths. But Lucia Rosie,
there are going to be dexterity saves no matter what, even if you get her free. But it will ameliorate the problem greatly. So try to get her out.
Okay. So I have one attempt to do this. So let's see how it goes.
It's DC 19. That is not a 19.
No, it's not.
Well, good thing is if you combined it, it still wouldn't have made it.
There's the silver lining.
Yep. Don't worry, I can fly with these spectral wings, so don't worry. These skeletal wings, so don't worry.
Right, but you're still, well, I guess the grapple ends once he's been paralyzed, right?
No, he's paralyzed, so his claw is still gripped around.
Oh.
Asheros wouldn't let me sprout wings without allowing me to fly. So
I don't think
worry about
actually the fallen Asimar's wings have a fly speed.
it. No,
I
they
think
don't. They don't,
Right.
but she doesn't know that.
Right, she's seen Lucharosi fly around. So.
Exactly. So I should be able to fly.
So both of you make me a dexterity save as this thing is about to crash at great speed.
All
Taking
right.
you
So the one benefit, Aurelia, you get a +3 bonus to your dexterity save.
Aurelia, you have disadvantage because you're still grappled. For Lucharosi, you have advantage because you can still control your own flight.
All right.
Even with advantage, that was garbage.
19.
Okay. So you take 17 if you failed and half that.
What
So
was failure?
8 bludgeoning damage as this creature slams into the stone rubble and dirt on the side of this thing. And
Okay,
comes
so
skidding to a halt.
it's bludgeoning damage. It's not like a fall damage is different.
No, it's bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so I take half of that because I am
You're
still raging. So
I mean, that rock was only going like 13.6 miles an hour, or miles an hour. It's not that bad.
And then falling 20 feet.
13.6 miles an hour, weighing at like 53,000 pounds.
And it didn't like stop dead when it hit, so it partially like rolled over the two of you. So at least Aurelia, you are underneath the bulk of this thing that is now laying on the ground. So consider it difficult terrain crawling out from under it. So I assume the rock doesn't get a saving throw, or does it?
Oh, it does. At the end of each of its turns,
What kind of save is it?
it's a strength save.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it passed.
So,
Wait,
have
that's Dagger
disadvantage?
Face. That's Dagger Face you rolled for.
oh,
Good. Phew.
Does it have disadvantage or something? No.
No.
Okay.
so it's still paralyzed.
Oh,
Dang!
Although it has a better save than Daggerface, so that's just weird.
I know, but I was like, no, we're. Oh, wait a minute. This is interesting. A paralyzed creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws.
huh?
Right.
Paralyzed condition.
Right. If the paralyzed effect on the Rod of Lordly Might says it gets a save, though, then I assume it gets a save.
Okay, yeah.
That would overrule whatever the general terms of the condition are. Plus, that would be a little crazy effective if you're paralyzed for a minute.
Yeah.
With no save. Yeah.
Yeah, with no save.
Just go pound on it for a minute.
But at the moment, the rock is not moving. And you guys all back, you see it descend. It's not clear that it's crashing at that moment, but then you can feel the rumble that shoots through the rock as it impacts, and dust begins to fly into the air in the distance.
So we're probably like at this point, including the distance that it probably fell, 200 feet away from everybody.
Yep.
We'll get there. It's going to be that scene at the end of the Holy Grail.
Right. Daggerface will be there in like 4 or 5 more rounds tops.
Alrighty.
It's Darius' turn.
All right,
You might need a couple saves for exhaustion.
That's it.
You can also see the smoke from where it's still on fire.
I can't see. Is that a wall there?
There is a wall
think it's-
between you and it.
Right here?
There's a way through about there.
Is there?
I think there's steps.
I can't move my guy there.
Oh. How did Daggerface get through there?
Right. God control.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I'll say that wall fell. He was just that determined. He Kool-Aid manned his way. So
Oh yeah.
you pick your way through the dwarf-shaped hole.
50, 20, 30. Oh, that's too far. There we go. I'll just move and dash. And nothing else I can really do. So
T-hole, what are you doing?
I'm gonna move and dash as well. So that's 30, and just gonna follow Zarius here.
I think these are the situations that Dimension Door was made for.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do have Dimension Door. I forget about that one. So actually, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to use my cape of the Mount Ben and Dimension Door myself over to Lucirosi and Aurelia.
Okay. So you make it about the 200 feet.
And are you guys moving? Like I know it's difficult terrain. Are you
Well, Aurelia's pinned underneath the bulk of this thing. I don't know where I am though.
Right. You basically are just sort of hovering in the air, flying.
Okay.
I'll say T-hole, you appeared on the ground beneath him. Aurelia, you don't see, but you could see there is a little bit of movement at the edge of the creature where she's pinned under it.
I would point for T-hole and say, she's over there underneath the thing.
So T-hole's going to attempt to feebly try to like lift it up, move it, push it, do whatever he can to try to dig her out.
So you begin to manipulate its body, lifting up a portion of muscle, and you do see like 1 foot sticking out.
Wicked Witch of the East style.
Essentially, yes. But it is not curling up, and she seems to be struggling.
So I'll like grab it and try to like pull it, and as much as I can.
Okay. I would normally say give me an athletics check, but we'll just say she can. It won't be difficult terrain for her to crawl out because you're helping.
And I'm much stronger now.
Right.
Yep.
Crick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just gonna double move over there as well. So.
So you also begin moving in that direction. Aurelia, what are you doing?
Okay, am I now away from this creature?
You're right now you're under it. It would take you 5 feet of movement to crawl your way out.
Okay.
With T-hole yanking on your ankle.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it's just me moving. It's just, or I don't know how much T-hole is really helping at this point. But, it is the Emperor.
T-hole always helps those who are loyal to him.
Is the creature still paralyzed?
It's not moving.
It's not moving. So I bonus action cast Shadow Blade, and I'm just going to hack the shit out of it.
Okay. So roll to hit.
Shadow Blade.
You have advantage, and any hit is automatic critical.
Right.
If it's within 5 feet.
Okay. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Shadow Blade. Okay. So, first attack, So roll again, because I have advantage, right?
Yeah.
11 plus, that's probably hit because it's be proficiency plus my
Dexterity? Or is it
I haven't used this fucking weapon.
yeah, it's finesse, so it's your dexterity.
Okay. Oh, of course that bitch went down. So
So yeah, so
6,
it's a crit.
7. Yeah. Okay. Third level.
So it's 16 plus 2d8.
All right. So I cast it at third, so 3d8. Okay.
Okay, so 24 plus 3d8.
3d8, 6, and then it gets. Can I use that necrotic thing?
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's another
so-
10 damage.
Okay.
And does that double, Kurt?
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't react because it's paralyzed.
Okay. Does oh well, it doesn't matter. I have an action point, right?
Yes.
Fuck, I'm attacking this thing again. So here we go. With advantage. A double, triple critical. And then plus another 3d8 with the shadow blade. 18.
So you hit it again. It again doesn't react. There's not, it's because it's a shadow blade, it doesn't leave a visible wound per se. But at this point, its entire head and face is on fire. One of its eyes bursts and goo spills out onto the side of the creature.
I'm just hacking away.
And you continue to hack with your psychic damage shadow blade.
Damn right.
You're sure that if this had been a real sword, you probably would have cut the creature's head off by now. But
Yeah.
it is quite dead.
Asheros will get me one.
Lucia Rossi is glad that we survived, but he has also never seen such a giant creature, and he has to respect the majesty of it. So he's going to go and kneel by the thing and say a prayer to Asheros to guide this creature's soul into the afterlife, because it is truly a wonder in his mind. And although it was
It twitches.
Yeah, I momentarily pause as I see Lucia Rossi do this. Praise be to Asheros, and I continue to hack. Psychic blade. I've got 1 minute worth of hacking.
and then once the prayer is completed, because Lucia Rossi is really in shock right now. He's in shock that, one, we managed to survive with really minimal casualties,
Ye of little faith.
but also the fact that this creature was just so large, and also the fact that his friends were so stupid in deciding, looking at this thing and figuring, yeah, we could take it.
See, T-Hole would just be bemused that you still consider him a friend.
And Zarius is like, of course, like, again, no way we could have outran that.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
but there are things that we could have done.
We did them.
Now
and now it is
that
dead.
creature is dead.
I recalled this probably right after you took off on the creature, but I do have a scroll of teleportation circle we can use to get out of here.
And Zarius, you'd be the first to notice that as you're having this conversation, hanging in the air against the blue sky, so it's initially a little hard for people to see, there is like a point of sort of hazy light that's growing in intensity here nearby where you are. And you see it's almost like rays of the sun are being sucked into this point as you all now begin to see rays of light coming in and out of this one spot as the brightness grows, until eventually you see an angelic form appears. Clearly, you can all sense the holy light coming off of it and the sense of goodness and calm. As it says, your reveries must end and your follies must be addressed. This is the will of Moraine. And suddenly, suddenly, you all get a sense almost like you're floating and the world seems to melt away. Most of you don't know where you are, except for T-Hole. T-Hole, you know exactly where you are, or at least you have a sense of your physical position. You are flying in space. Below you, you see there's an almost a paradise very similar to the one you conjured. In the distance, you can see there's an immensely tall mountain and several subsidiary peaks near it. You're not sure where this is exactly. All of you can now see this scene, but you don't seem to be embodied here. You just seem to be observing what goes on. The angel floats nearby you, and T-Hole, you realize that you are flying. You're not exactly sure how, but you can control your movement in space.
Are we supposed to be seeing the scene on the Roll20?
Yeah, I just see a black screen.
That's all you're seeing, just blackness.
Yep, it's space.
It's got
We're in
space.
Space.
I don't have dark vision.
I will drag you all over.
Has this been more than a minute later?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not transformed anymore. So nobody else saw that except for Lucerosi.
Oh, there you go. There goes something.
Is anybody missing now? Should be.
Daggerface?
I'm not on the board. The only people I see on the board are T-Hole and the creature.
I don't see you.
Go down to the corner, lower right hand.
You are on a little bridge.
I don't actually see anything.
It's all about T-Hole anyway, so don't worry about it.
I don't know if that's by design.
Is T-Hole's
Oh,
thing
T-Hole's
changed?
He's in the sky.
Yeah,
Yes.
and has his icon changed?
This is
It
a
looks
different
like it.
T-Hole icon, yes. Just for purposes of the fact that he's now flying. So a top-down icon wouldn't have worked as well.
Flying T-Hole.
Can you see now, Dustin?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, I can see it now.
So Luceros is gonna look around and be like, "Biastros, what has happened?"
Who are you? Where is this place?
You know who I am. Oops.
Do I recognize him?
No. As I said, your reveries must come to an end. This has gone on too long. This is the duty set out to me by Moraine, and I will carry it out gladly. You must die for the good of the grand strategy. And suddenly you realize, hey, maybe this was the guy who was trying to whisk you away from the manor. Roll the initiative, T-Hole.
Do we hear this conversation or no?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you can hear and observe the entire thing.
Okay. As soon
How
as I
far
hear
away are they?
There's only one proper reaction that Lucerosi would have.
Epic T-Hole duel.
Yeah, when I hear T-Hole must die, I'm ready. I'm going to attack.
Yeah, you can't move. You can only observe.
Oh, this is straight up bullshit.
So T-Hole, you get to go first.
All right. Let's see.
He's about 60 feet away from you, I think. Maybe not
You
quite
can do
that
it,
far.
T-Hole. You can do it, Emperor.
It's gotta get a good first hit.
This is Lucerosi, by the way, everybody.
Yeah.
And then he's going to stop immediately whenever the guy gets one-shotted.
Okay. So I'm going to use Mordenkainen's Arcane Fusion.
Okay.
And I'm going to twist together a Mind Spike and a Lightning Bolt.
Okay. So what does Mind Spike do?
It is
Fuck with their
a
head.
wisdom saving throw. Full damage or half damage on a failed one. So that made it. So it takes 9 damage, 9 psychic damage.
And I think it failed. Did it fail its dexterity save?
16 just makes it.
So what's the lightning bolt damage?
Not as good as it should have been. So it'd be half for that.
So you shoot out this lightning bolt that strikes it directly in the head and begins to swirl around it. The angel rears back, but doesn't seem to be ready to drop as a result of that. So it rushes forward. A golden axe appears in its hands as it flies up to you.
Both hit.
And it's your turn again.
Minus 15, minus 21, so minus 36. I'm going to cast Misty Step as a bonus action to teleport away 30 feet.
Okay. Oh, actually, yeah, I apologize. I just realized it. You could take away that damage. It only flew up to you. It didn't get a chance to attack.
Oh, okay.
It was 60 feet away. It doesn't fly out of that speed.
I'll take it. Back to full.
Yep.
Well, I guess that wouldn't really work in a flying situation. So I'm going to cast another lightning bolt. Oh wait, I can't do that because I used a bonus action for my a spell for my bonus action.
You know, for here where you happen to be, although you don't recognize the place, I will allow it.
All right. So it'll take 29 lightning damage.
See what else you can try and get away with, man.
But now it can fly that far and attack. So it is sort of hovering above you as it swings this golden axe. Hitting once.
Doing 23. Cool. Is that its turn?
That's its turn.
So T-Hole's going to reach into his pouch, and he grabs a scroll and then reads it, and he casts shield on himself.
Shield? That's a reaction spell, ain't it?
Yeah. Shield
Oh.
is a reaction spell.
Well,
It's a great spell.
This is Emperor T-Hole. He can do shit like that.
So, I mean, what is your AC? I forget.
well, right now it's 14.
Right. So if you use shield, that would make it 19. So he still would have hit you that one time. Normally, shield is used like when I say, "Oh, you've just been hit." Then you say, "Okay, well, I'm going to cast shield."
Oh, okay.
But in this case, it wouldn't have negated the hit anyway, so you wouldn't have done that.
That's fair. Yeah, I haven't used shield before.
Right. Yeah, it's used. You declare it after I tell you what they rolled.
Gotcha.
So it's rarely a wasted effort.
Makes sense. If that's the case, then I'm going to continue.
I actually forget, you might have a scroll of protection from Celestial, so that it would work. I don't remember if you guys found that or not.
Protection from elementals.
Okay. There was a protection from Celestials in the Manor in one spot.
You don't have power word kill in there, do you?
I wish.
The ability to unparalyze us.
Yeah.
I guess I'll cast another fireball then.
Fireball or firebolt?
Fireball.
You're gonna have it blow up right in your face.
Oh, it failed. I assume he'll, put it behind the creature.
Yeah.
It's got a lot
Although
of room up here.
that would be a pretty baller move.
It's
the most epic smoke bomb ever.
I mean, if he was a
simultaneously-
evocation wizard,
simultaneously an attack and a escape move.
oof,
Uh-oh.
you got to get closer, man, so I can cancel that.
See, even so, like this is such a big thing. I don't think I can make it.
He's got to work real hard.
So it's 36 damage.
Nice. Yeah. So I got 1 hit point left.
At least you had one.
And it's your turn. I'll say you float around to the other side.
So that we can have the best view when he decapitates T-Hole. Here, I thought Aurelia was going to bite the dust this session.
I'm going to I'm gonna use my wand of fear to try to command this creature.
Okay, so your wand of fear, so you're just casting fear on it?
Yeah. I don't have fear prepared, so
That's fine. I mean, that's what the wand is for, so.
yeah.
I was thinking, does the wand have some sort of command creatures thing that I don't remember?
Well, you can command it to grovel or flee.
I see. So is it a wisdom save?
It is. Didn't make it.
It didn't make it. So what is your command?
To grovel, of course.
I knew it.
So it's the golden axe in its hand disappears, and it almost like supplicates itself to you. It can't exactly bow because it's flying, but it has essentially curled into a ball and says, "Forgive me, Great One, but this, you know as well as I that this must happen."
Why must this happen?
Because it is the will of the gods that you die, that these follies of yours finally come to an end.
What follies?
Your entire life is one long folly. It must end. And I have been tasked with killing you, with taking your life. Your soul will return to Celestia.
I will forgive you for this as long as you heal me back to full.
That is not within my power. I was tasked by Moraine to end your life, and that is my sacred duty. I will kill you.
Then go. Leave me.
So does he get like another save?
It's basically the command spell.
Okay, so he's groveled for one round.
Yeah.
So he's free to act normally again. But if you want to take an action, you can take an action.
An action or a turn?
A turn. He essentially wasted his turn groveling, so that was your conversation with him.
I'm gonna use Misty Step to teleport here ish. And then I'm going to, so do I have an increased fly speed?
Your fly speed is equal to your movement speed. So 30 feet.
So, and then I'm going to sprint about here. It's about 60 feet. And dash.
Okay. So
That's a good move. It'll give you 2 turns, basically.
He will also double move. Let me see. And gets up to you, but isn't able to attack.
Oh. Might give you 1 turn.
Now it's your turn again.
Let's see, do I have any other items that will help?
Meanwhile, the rest of you notice that wherever you are, this place is incredibly beautiful to look at. It's a very peaceful scene, except for the combat going on in the sky near you.
Oh,
Can we tell where
just
we are?
your definition of peaceful for Lucirosi. He is thoroughly enjoying the show.
Can we
I mean,
tell?
once T-Hole actually gets killed, he'll be regretful that he allowed himself such base emotions, but Ashros forgives.
Well, I'm going to attempt to use the Wand of Fear again. So it has a couple charges on it. It has a total of 7 charges. So I used 1 charge for the last time.
Yep.
So I will use another charge.
Same effect or a different one?
This one will be to flee. Still part of the command spell.
So that time you made it.
All right. That's my turn then.
So he is going to attempt to kill you. I'd say that.
How
So
far off is
as I don't know how far away is that.
The attempt succeeded.
About
he's
100 feet.
Yeah, it's more than 30 feet. Yeah.
So as the axe digs into your flesh, the rest of you see T-Hole not so much, but the rest of you see T-Hole's form seems to explode into what appears to be a huge size humanoid formed of pure light, and angelic wings unfold behind him as he immediately begins flying off towards the mountains in the distance. The angel axe disappears in its hand as it huffs a bit, winded by the fight, almost destroyed itself, begins following on after it. Although the form of light that T-Hole's turned into is so much faster than this creature that he's leagues behind it at this point. T-Hole's form gets smaller and smaller as it flies into the distance, and you get the sense that that mountain must be immense because it is probably, you now realize, several thousand miles away. But T-Hole's form vanishes in a blink. And you return back to the cliff, to the side of the rock. T-Hole is nowhere to be seen. The rock still lays dead.
I'm unsure whether or not the Revivify will work here.
Revivify for what?
Or the
T-Hole.
raise.
For the what?
Raise dead.
What would you raise? There's no body. It seems T-Hole transformed.
Hmm.
You saw it? Or was I seeing things?
I will have to attempt to send him a message at some point.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I know what happened?
I was gonna say, yeah. Can we recognize where we were or something?
You can make a religion check.
I could try. Oh shit! I was on it.
I mean, just from what you saw and just the general feeling of the place, you would guess that you might have been just getting a glimpse of Celestia. You doubt your body's actually left this place. And it doesn't even seem like you were gone for any real length of time. So you may have only been there for just a flash in your mind's eye. But you know that the angel that appeared to you here isn't here, and T-Hole has also vanished. And with that, let's take a 5-minute break, and I will send Dustin an email.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Are there any feathers that are on the rock that have not burned yet?
Oh, sure. There are
Okay.
some.
I would try to take one of the smaller ones because Lucia Rossi was really moved by that creature. It's just so
Literally.
ginormous. Yeah.
So, I mean, it depends on, you can probably find, you're not going to be, around the head, you can probably find a few small feathers, like, 2 feet long.
Yeah.
Other places you're going to find feathers that are just unwieldy to even carry.
Yeah, I figure probably somewhere around not exploded eye.
Right. Okay, so we'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help, Dustin.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Hopefully, those will do you a little bit better, or at least give you an idea of
Yeah.
kind of what to look for.
Yeah. And then that would explain
stuff?
why. That would explain why I bought the because this other monitor didn't have a camera, so I bought one of those. I mean, I bought like a plug-in camera, and the video was like lagging, and I'm like, what the?
Yeah. Yeah, like more than your graphics card, like streaming video, like really chomps up your CPU. So if you don't have a good one, it'll be lagging.
For streaming, a lot of like professional streamers have like a external thing that they stream through.
Mhm.
So they output into this box that streams and then also goes to their computer
I
display.
think it's called Elgato or something along those lines.
I have no idea. I don't know
It's
what
like
it's called.
It's like a capture device.
Yeah.
So, Dustin, did you have any questions about my email?
No. But I'm looking forward to it.
Does Aurelia know who this Moraine is? Has she heard that name before?
Yeah. Moraine is the name of one of the 4 gods in the imperial religion.
Okay.
He is usually considered to be the god of magic and chance. But also, he's also sort of like he's the god who created the animals. So he has a certain nature elements to him as well.
Mr. Scratches, what happened?
What do you mean?
Well, we went somewhere, and then all of a sudden, T-Hole's gone.
I sort of imagine Lucia Rossi yelling, "We got him!"
Yeah, Lucia Rossi would respond to Aurelia. It seems his actions have finally caught up to him, and somebody is finally introducing him to some form of justice.
What, for being a benevolent emperor?
Yeah, quick question.
Anything but.
Can I recognize
Aurelia.
what he turned into?
Again,
Seems sort of angelic.
give me a religion check.
My nat 20 from before didn't cover that, huh? I'm going to roll shit this time. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
you would go ahead. Anyone who wants to roll can roll. Anybody who's
Oh.
trained in religion, at least, or has.
I'm guessing that was his real form. He pulled a dogma.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, Lucia Rossi, you would guess that. First of all, you're given that you were probably catching a glimpse of Celestia. It may not necessarily have been that what you were seeing was real. It may have been that you were interpreting what you were seeing in a way that your mind could comprehend it. And so this wasn't necessarily a physical form. This was more a form of pure positive energy. So it may have been his soul, but it probably doesn't link up to a specific creature you might otherwise encounter in the real world, as physical substance just doesn't mean as much there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring, anyways. Like, if you, especially if we are on Celestia, if somebody dies in Celestia, it would just kind of release the soul.
Though why it was as large as it seemed to be and so much faster than the actual angel, you're not sure.
T-Hole and his tricks.
Even in death.
So what happened?
Well, that servant of Moraine destroyed him, at least a part of him, and then he fled, as T-Hole always does.
So that servant is next after Mordenkainen on my list.
Sure, Aurelia. Well, We have already lost a great deal of time. We need to find this prison and see what's going on with Lopexagus
We need to find
and
T-Hole
Cato.
in the Celestia where he went. How do we get
T-Hole
there?
is gone. And even if
No,
he's
he's not.
not,
No, he's not. You can't tell me
Aurelia.
the Emperor's gone. No, I won't
Aurelia.
believe it. No.
even if he is not gone, we have no way of getting to Celestia.
Nope.
And we have no way of even knowing if that is actually what we saw was accurate. Our eyes could have been deceived. Our minds could have been deceived. T-Hole could have orchestrated this entire thing just to find a way to leave.
I'm not listening to you, Lucerosi. And she stomps off.
If the Emperor is not dead, that means my life debt is still owed.
In the morning, I will attempt to reach out.
Well, the morning is a fair bit away. Right,
Silence.
Kurt?
I hear arrows being fired.
Arrows. Lucerosi pulls out his rod of lordly might and a Regia's sword. And
Where
he
is
gets
south
ready.
in association within this map, I guess?
Down.
Okay. To the south.
Sure you hear arrows? And then Lucerosi's going to listen and see if he can hear anything.
Give me a perception check. You at first you don't hear anything, then you do hear one single arrow shot whistle through the air.
I'll look around. Like, did we come down a hill or?
No, it's more or less. I mean, there are hills here and there along the side of this, but this section of it is more or less flat, as it's right at the bottom where the palace itself met the tower of rock that it sat on. But you do see now flying low amidst the rubble with an arrow sticking out of its wing, so it's not flying particularly well, what appears to be almost akin to a small copper dragon, except that its wings are a bit more stylized and fanciful. And Zarius, you would recognize this as one of the messengers that serves the copper dragon people that your family rules over.
I will start moving towards it.
So it is clearly having difficulty flying at this point.
Zarius, where are you going?
Messenger. And I will start
Messenger?
moving.
What does that mean, messenger?
And you can all now hear the clamoring of boots behind it. As you see a group of hobgoblins appears, bows in their hands.
In this this tiny dragon, is it tiny or how big is it?
It's tiny.
Is
Okay.
it cute? That's the question.
Well, there's a picture right there.
There's the picture. You can decide. Does have butterfly wings. Copper butterfly wings.
I don't know.
Maybe it has a good personality. Maybe it'll grow on you.
How far away is it?
It's not that far away from you now. It's where are you? It's about 40 feet.
All right, I'm gonna once it's within 30 feet, I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on it because it seems like it's being attacked. Yeah.
Yeah, it's being attacked.
All right, so yeah.
How big is it? You said?
It's about the size of like a large raven or a large hawk.
Okay.
So
size.
you cast Sanctuary on it.
Yeah.
As soon as they sort of round the corner of the wall, the hobgoblins all stop. Does anyone here speak Goblin?
No.
Nope.
I think I
No,
do.
I do
Yeah,
not.
I do.
So you hear them say, "Intruders on the wall!" And everybody can roll for initiative.
I'm just gonna roll a d20. Holy shit! Second time in a row.
Yeah, they did fuck up the initiative, didn't they?
Yeah, I just rolled a d20, Kurt. So if you could just insert me in there. I don't have any modifiers.
So the hobgoblins all have to make wisdom saves to attack that thing, but they don't necessarily see that as the big threat. So they're going to start picking targets. First one, they fires at Lucirosi. Nope.
Miss.
Second one fires at Daggerface. Miss. Third one fires at Daggerface. Miss. Fourth one fires at Zarius. Miss. Fifth one also at Zarius. Sixth one at Lucirosi again. And Crick.
They're all just terrible shots.
Yeah. One at Aurelia.
They're in a group, I guess.
And another. That's it. So, Lucirosi, your turn.
Well, they've clearly made themselves our enemy now. So I don't know if any of this is difficult terrain.
No, not really.
Okay. So he would move. He would do a double move right there. Right here. And then use his bonus action to rage.
Okay. Zarius.
All right, how far away are these guys exactly?
Closest ones are 60 feet ish.
Yeah, about 45, 50 feet from you.
All right, I think that's my movement. 30, yeah. They're not quite within range of anything super special. I don't have any crazy stuff, so I guess I'll go spiritual weapon.
Okay.
I guess just on the closest guy here, I guess.
That hits him. And
All
seems to do a lot of damage to him. He's not robust.
Okay.
And the little dragon comes flying around in circles around you, Zarius. It says, I found you. Save me.
I'm working on it.
Aurelia.
Just had to fight for my life, killing a rock. Mr. Scratches is being Mr. Butthole, and I just lost Keyhole. It's not a good day for this girl. Eldritch Blast, one of these sorry motherfuckers. Let's see here. Probably the closest one right there next to Lucerosi. Because I couldn't tell who was shooting at me. Just yes, it's been a day. I'm not feeling it.
You get two of them.
So the second one looks like it's on target, but it hits the armor the hobgoblin is wearing and is stopped.
It's not good.
Crick.
You hear a loud belly rumble come from Crick, and he's like, "Ooh, maybe we can eat them." And then I fire a fireball over at him at 4th level. Oh boy.
One?
I'm gonna.
Well,
there's
one is just the additional damage from casting it at 4th level, so it's 21 total.
Okay.
but there's a lot of ones.
A lot of ones.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Yeah.
do any of them drop from that?
I mean, are you going to do something to empower the fireball, or are you doing something? Are you assessing after you've seen the fireball?
I'm assessing after the fireball.
Okay, so where did you put the fireball?
Let's say right here. So hit them all.
Let me see something.
I'm gonna pull up the spell, what it does.
No, I know what the spell does.
Okay.
But it's like a 20-foot radius. So I'll say other than the one, I'll say you basically can get them all other than the one who's right next to Lucerosi and who's already been hit. So they all miraculously make their saving throws, and then they all die anyway because.
Oh. Okay.
So they are all dead. There's one now remaining.
Good. Alive meal.
And he doesn't even see it. He hears the fireball go off behind him, and then he turns to look over his shoulder and sees just charred corpses as a few of them are still on fire die. He reaches down for his belt and pulls up a horn and just lets loose a blast of a horn, which causes Daggerface to drop to his knees, grabbing his ears. But that's his turn. He is blowing the horn for all he's worth. And it's Lucerosi's turn.
All right. First attack.
You cut the horn, falls silent as you kill him outright.
Can I not kill him and just knock him out?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Yeah, my Lord of Broadly Might right now is in its rod form. So I knock him out, and then I try to look around and see if the horn has drawn any attention.
Let us move.
You don't hear or see anything, but it was loud, so presumably if anybody was at even a pretty good distance, they might have heard it.
Okay.
They would not have done this if there were not others around. Let us move.
We also need information. We don't know what we're dealing with. So, since I'm raging at this time, can I just put him over my shoulder and move at my normal pace?
Sure, but your rage will wear off in a round.
Right, but at least it'll, I don't know.
You could certainly hoist him up more easily because you're in a rage. I mean, it just depends on, this hobgoblin probably weighs with all of his armor about 250 pounds. So how much weight can you carry?
I got a 18 strength. And my total carry weight right now is 166.8.
It's going to be doubled. I cast enhance ability on both of us just because I don't want to use my last third or second level. So I'll use a third level to get both of us. We now have bull strength.
Okay. So yeah, if the two of you want to help carry him, then you can take him at a normal pace.
Okay, cool. They came from the south, so we should probably head opposite. Yes? No? Okay.
Yes.
And then Lucirosi will just go and start hauling ass.
So the little dragon is just lands on Zarius's shoulder and says, "Oh, thank you, Lord. You saved me. I thought for sure I was going to be dead. Where's that? There was an owl. Have you seen an owl?"
It flew off.
Well, probably just as well, I guess. There's also a giant rock here that was terrorizing all of the local animals. So I mostly hid.
This one. Just point to it as we pass it up.
Oh yeah, it's on fire.
It is not having a good day.
No wonder the hobgoblins were brave enough to come up here. Usually they just avoid this whole spot because of the giant bird.
Have you come with a message?
I have. Your uncle, I'm sad and delighted to say, has died. And so I don't know what you know of your uncle. I know you left our people a long time ago. But Nadar, Sultan of the Warm Lands, he died childless. And unfortunately, the good news first is you now are Sultan of the Warm Lands, as he had no heirs. The bad news is that your throne has already been taken by Magagalel, the devil with whom your hated uncle treated, in order to gain enough power to fend off some monsters that were coming out of the Brightlands. So, congratulations, you're Sultan. I pledge my undying loyalty to you. But Magagalel has the authority to take away everybody from the Warmlands into hell as soon as we build a funerary chamber for your uncle. And he decided to lay out a funerary chamber that likes of which we haven't seen in thousands of years. So that's probably going to take us 5 or 10 years to build it. And that's about as much time as you're going to have if you're going to save us. And I don't mean to be presumptuous, but I'm hoping you're going to save us.
I've done it once before. I will do it again.
Well, then I guess I am at your disposal. Do with me what you will. It would be good if I didn't die, though, because I think if I die, my soul is going to go to hell.
I will do my best to keep you alive. We must first find a resting place so that we may regather ourselves.
I'm not sure that there's a good resting place up here. I mean, there's probably no monsters because of the rock that was terrorizing everyone. But if the hobgoblins saw you bring the rock down, they're definitely going to come up here. There's all sorts of people who occasionally sneak up here because they think they'll be able to find treasure in the ruins of the palace. But the rock usually eats them.
I'll take a look at the ruins, actually. Is it a big place?
It is a big place. When the palace was here. The palace probably had several hundred rooms. The spires on it, I mean, the stone on which it sat seemed to go up about 800 feet. And then the palace was another 150 feet high on top of that, at least at its tallest. Now, a lot of that has crumbled when it hit the earth, but the rock is still intact. So the rock itself is probably about 300 feet tall at this point, sitting on its side. So it will be somewhat of a prodigious climb to get down, no matter which way you go.
Perhaps through would be the best. We might encounter some of these potential treasures that could help us.
Yes, but if we're also going to be beset by all sorts of others trying to find them, that may not be the wisest choice. We still need to figure out what's going on.
Most of the structures are destroyed anyway. I doubt we could make our way through them. Yeah, it's mostly a digging effort if you want to get at whatever's left intact inside.
Yeah, that is a fool's errand right now, especially when we know that we have friends that need our help.
Either way, I believe we will likely encounter something as we attempt to get down.
So how do we get down? So we're still walking within the ruins, basically?
Yes.
Or
you're still
okay.
basically at the part of the palace that was just sort of clinging to the side of the rock face. But shortly you come to where the palace proper would have began, the flat surface of the rock face. And you see it is just a cliff that goes down for about 200 feet. And then the rubble of what used to be towers and palace is beneath you. So there are stone outcroppings here. It might be climbable from the ruins of what used to be here, but the dragon is right, as all of the actual buildings that were above the surface of this place are pretty much crumbled into useless rubble.
And this is just the castle. What about the city around it?
The city, this castle was actually a couple of days travel away from the city.
Okay.
So you are to the northeast of where the city was. You do see now that you're here, though, that there used to be 8 gigantic chains that bound the rock pillar to the ground so that it didn't float off. Those appear to all be snapped and broken, and just links from the chain or lengths of chain are laying all around the valley.
I'll actually turn to the dragon, to the fairy dragon. What is your name?
Kepri, my lord.
Kepri, do you know what date it is?
In your calendar, no. We don't. I mean, in a draconic calendar, it's the year 12,175.
I translate that.
The draconic calendar, you would know. You can translate it. It would put you within about a year or two after you entered the manor. But you also know the dragons don't keep calendars accurately.
Sure.
Because an individual year just isn't that important to them.
Right.
So nobody trusts these little messengers' sense of time is the problem.
We should ask this creature. Well, I'm chasing Lucia Rossi.
Yeah, Aurelia finally walks up. Don't worry, we're fine. We're fine. Don't worry.
To whom is she saying this?
She's saying it to the other two that cast enhance ability and ran their ass off. So she just followed behind. Don't worry, we're good. Crick and I are fine. Don't worry about it.
We were carrying body is all.
We're good. I'm good. Don't worry.
Yeah, it didn't make us faster.
Well, you ran. She didn't run.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw you take off.
So surveying the land, do we get a sense of a safe way to traverse this terrain?
You can, as long as you're on top of the rock, it's, relatively safe. Towards the sides, it does curve. And so the pitch of the thing becomes more treacherous as you leave the center line. But you don't see any way to just, safely get to the ground below.
How far is the
It's
ground below?
depending on where you are, between 200 and 300 feet. But if you walk to the very edge of the curved side, it's about 150 feet. But then it's a sheer drop. There's not even anything to climb on as the rest of the rock curls underneath, as it's essentially like a pillar falling on its side.
Just for the fuck of it, I'm gonna pull out that map that at one point tracked Salosri, just to make sure nothing's on it.
You don't see anything on it.
All right. Never know.
Lucirosi tries his best not to notice you pulling it out.
Yeah, look, I'm looking out for you.
Yes.
Or maybe I'm just trying to see if it'll pick up anything else.
What's in an explorer's kit? Oh, no. No climbing gear.
Just rope.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust just climbing rope that distance. Perhaps we can go to a different side of the tower and see if there's a better way of getting down. We may encounter others, bugbears or whatever, but I think that this is a dead end.
As long as we can eat soon.
The hobgoblins do have a bridge of a sort at the far end, at the bottom, what used to be the bottom end of this tower. It's usually unmanned, but if all of these people were up here to chase me, I'm guessing there are probably hobgoblins there too.
I
long has it
don't
been
see any
around?
other choice but to at least check out the bridge.
We know someone of the Hob. Perhaps we could use their influence.
Wait, are you... Peter, what was your character's old name again?
Chica.
Kajika.
Yeah. Are you speaking of Kajika?
Yes.
How would we use his influence? He's not here. He left us, and not on good terms.
Perhaps the name is enough. It is what we have.
We also have this body. A delicious body.
Take a piece.
No. This man is under my protection, at least for now.
I thought you were talking about the rock.
Oh.
You might not have been. I don't know.
No, he was probably talking about the hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Zarius thought what he thought. So, take a piece.
Okay. So let's find at least a defensible area of this rubble, and then see if we can't wake this person up and get information about when we are and what is going on here.
So you quickly determined that if the hobgoblins come this way, there's nothing remaining on the surface of the rock that you would consider to be a good place to hide. I mean, they're probably not going to march by you as large a group as you have, unless you hid underneath the rock's corpse, as they're probably not going to bother trying to move that. So you might be able to hide under a wing, and maybe they'll keep their distance. Otherwise, your best bet is to crawl back inside the rock into the what used to be the cellar areas of the old palace, as that seemed largely intact.
How difficult would that be?
Not very. You climbed out with your rod of lordly might turning into a ladder. You could basically just climb down without a check.
So Lucia Rossi would recommend that then. What here? Let's get back into the tower. At least then we can see or hear people coming, and we'll have at least some kind of defensible position while we get information from this person.
I think Zarius might have. Well, actually, I guess I don't need to. I was going to say Zarius might have taken their horn, but he has the war horn, so he doesn't really need it.
All right, so
They do all have horns. If anybody wanted a horn,
Lucia Rossi would start transforming the rod of lordly might and setting up to have people start climbing up.
okay. So, well, you basically go back to the place where you emerged from the underground chambers, and lower the ladder down into it again. And quickly find a little side passage, essentially just what used to be a hallway flipped onto its side, and you all climb in there. So there is a direct path that leads up the shaft, another former hallway that leads to the surface again, but you need the ladder essentially to get there.
Okay.
So unlikely, unless they want to sort of spelunk their way down this hallway, that they're going to find you here. Unless you start making noise or something that gives you away.
All right. So I would take out my rope and start tying is it a hobgoblin we have?
Yes.
I'd start tying him up. And then once he's securely tied, I would use my lay on hands to heal him a couple of hit points in order to expedite him waking up.
So you see his eyes flutter, and he scooches up against the wall, looking at you all. I mean, do you have your, I assume, Zaris, do you have your flaming torch out?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of can just keep it strapped to my back to have fire, since it actually doesn't put out heat. I'm not going to get burned or anything, so.
Right. So he is regarding you all. Why are you trespassing on the tower?
Or to trespass on ruins.
This whole region has been claimed by the Tripartite Alliance. You are not authorized to be here. Only hobgoblins have control of the tower.
What is your name?
My name is Calais.
Calais. You may not believe us, but we're not familiar with what's going on right now. We've been through quite an ordeal. So what is this tripartite alliance?
And he sort of narrows his eyes. He's trying to assess how honest you're being. The Tripartite Alliance is going to be your death unless you release me now.
I'd cut the sass. I would.
I could melt his voice box.
What are you creatures anyway? Why are you even here?
That's one to talk, slave race.
We're trying to figure that out. What was your name again?
Calais.
Calais. Look, Calais, of my companions here, I am probably your best hope of getting out of this. None of them want to see you survive this. However, I am a paladin of Asheros, and I do not want to take life without reason.
And I
So
am a
please.
warrior of Satan Mamadati, and to die at the hands of an enemy is no death. It is glory everlasting. My companions were lucky that you killed them. They will be celebrated in the halls of the Great Bear.
Look,
What kind of bear?
A giant flaming bear of blood and death.
Not a
Good
cuddly
bear.
bear? I could really
Not-
use a hug from a cuddly bear right now.
Kalia,
This bear would burn the flesh from your body.
Kalias, we are just looking for information. We are not intending to trespass.
And yet you are trespassers.
What happened to this place?
You mean the palace that used to sit here? We destroyed it. We destroyed the ancient evil magic that kept it in the air. We knocked it to the ground. We slaughtered its inhabitants that tried to crawl from its rubble. And then finally, a great rock showed up, sensing the disturbance in the weave that we created, and made this its home, a perch from which to purge all of the animals surrounding the old palace. We were victorious. That's what happened. We drove the humans and the dwarves and the gnomes and the halflings from their city. We drove them to the south, and we expanded across the northern part of the continent.
Who is we?
The Tripartite Alliance.
Yes, but who is a part of this alliance? It's clear that the goblins are part of the alliance. Who else?
Likely the Goliaths, perhaps giants.
The Goliaths and the giants fight for the demons. He spits on the ground.
Gross.
Elias, obviously we are ignorant of the situation. It may very well be that this is a misunderstanding, but we will not know unless you help us figure out what's going on.
So what does Crick look like right now? Are you disguised or in your
Yeah,
normal
I'd be in
form?
my human form. Yeah, in my the disguised form. Yeah.
Okay. I am Calais. That is all you need to know. For treading on this holy ground, you will die here.
No,
Now,
we won't.
kill me and be done with it.
This is your opportunity. Because we have returned. And we did have the Emperor with us, but he is not with us, but he should be back. So this is your opportunity for the slave races to come and join the winning side.
What emperor do you speak of?
T-Hole, the only emperor.
The emperor of what?
The whole world.
Do you mean
And
you
this-
had a? Do you mean to suggest that you had Aurelius V here with you, this deep in our territory?
Yeah. And your palace isn't really nice. You got to pick it up. It's a kind of a dump. I
It
don't
is-
even think I'd claim it. There's like rubble everywhere.
It was destroyed by our hand on purpose. It was magical. For that reason alone, it needed to be destroyed.
Well, then what happened? That big bird came and you couldn't even beat it.
We had no desire to. It was a great boon that the rock came.
To who?
It was a gift from Satan Mamadati to show our triumph over this site.
It was a gift? Well, that gift is dead. And I killed it.
For that alone, you should die, even if you had not trespassed here. You've defiled the sacredness of the great bear of heaven.
That great bear doesn't
Callias.
sound very cuddly.
Elias, perhaps you know the name Kajika?
He does not
Beef.
seem to recognize the name.
Well, we tried, Zeres. You mentioned that the Goliaths are aligned with the demons. Is this all-out war right now that's going on?
We are not in what I would consider to be a hot war with the demons, but we fight them whenever we find them. It is also a great boon to kill a demon. The giants, more or less, are focused on the Empire and bringing it down. We know that at some point we will come into conflict with them again, but we've driven them from the mountains. The leader of the giants is no longer in control in this region.
Well, at least that is some common ground upon which we stand.
I
The
should have
demons
stayed in
are
Manor.
anathema and should be destroyed at all cost. But, Calais,
What are you?
Servants
Oh.
of Asheros.
So
There you are.
Isn't it obvious?
I'm an Asimar.
slaves to a false god, you mean?
I thunder wave him.
You're gonna bring the
Okay.
whole place down in on us.
Fuck him.
He's killed by a thunder wave then.
Yep. Pissed off an angry girl. That's what happens.
Aurelia!
I spare the dying.
I would say no. He's splattered against the wall
Good.
with his one hit
Aurelia.
point.
That was not going well, but that was not called for either. If you are truly trying to follow Asheros, then one of the things that of his teachings is patience.
I learned it from watching you.
I would say I would type this out, but I'll just say it, and then we can end the session here. As soon as everyone's ears stop ringing and Daggerface stops screaming, because Daggerface has just fallen over, grabbing his head in pain from the sound of the thunder wave, Zarius, you hear, probably from up that shaft, it came from down here,
We have been noticed.
and that's where we'll end it.
Okay.
I had this cool idea in my head too. I was gonna convert them.
And convert the rest of them.
Well, I can only do one at a time.
It'll be a very long, drawn-out engagement, but one that'll net you an army.
I was gonna get this guy on our side. I was gonna go follow your god, and you'll just get this, and then like cast banishment on him. So he's just like in this void of a demiplane for like a minute. This is really freak him out, and then he pops back. It's like, yeah. Or you could follow us, and
Yeah, we really need a hobgoblin which can't hit us.
Yeah.
with it's intel is what we're looking for.
I thought that was really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the battle with the rock because it was like a non-traditional way of doing it, and it just happened that all the rolls managed to go in our favor. Paralyze.
That could have turned out very poorly.
Yeah. Next turn it could have started flying up.
That's what it was going to do. It was going to fly almost directly up so that it could drop Aurelia and then fly back down again.
I had a rock pick up a character that was a monk. Fly and then drop, and there's just a monk feather fall. It's like, oh shit. They negated every fucking bit of damage. Like, son
Wow.
of a bitch.
I was pretty sure going into this that T-Hole was not going to die. It didn't work that way. The angel was like one hit away from, at least if it got hit like it did before, it was one hit away, definitely, from dying. Even if it had made a save, it might have died. But I don't know what you had left in terms of like spell slots.
I
Actually, it plays into this whole backstory I have in my head for T-Hole. So
yeah. We'll email.
Right.
Going about what's next. So, but yeah, I wasn't. So I mean, obviously he's super squishy. So like 2 hits from that guy basically like is all my hit points. On like a decent hit.
mhm.
So
Then he
Help with the
critted multiple
and
times.
he critted
Yeah. Actually, I would say that was what I did not actually plan on. It didn't occur to me to factor in, well, what if he crits?
Yeah.
because I had the shield scroll and I was like, well, all right, well, you know, I can at least get something out of it, but not if it crits every time or hits 19s or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it's all right.
As a wizard, we can't even get you like adamantine armor to negate crits or anything. Because you just don't wear armor.
Yeah.
Fire did like double damage against the rock, right? Is that what was part of the thing too?
It was doing more damage than normal, and
Yeah.
it was persisting, so it was continuing to take fire damage.
Yeah.
That's
So that was my intent, was like to get hit and then use Hellish Rebuke, since that was the only fire I had. And then if I had to, I was going to Dimension Door on the back of it.
That would have made it impossible for it to at least hit you with its talons. Might have tried to, like twist itself around.
Yeah, I was going to use Dissonant Whispers, but I didn't want it to fly away from me, so I needed it to be close.
Yeah, and Zarius, so that you're aware, you can treat. I'll give you access to its character sheet, but you can treat Kepri as a familiar because this is
Alrighty.
part of the Deck of Fate thing.
All right.
cool.
Cool.
How's everybody on hit points?
Good.
Feeling fresh.
Yeah,
So you should be able to control Kepri's character sheet now and see it.
All right, guys, I'm heading to bed.
All righty.
See you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
All right. And then for
Yeah.
everybody else, see you Sunday potentially and Tuesday. By the way, did everybody get the link